I'm Bill S. Preston, Esquire. And I'm Ted Theodore Logan. And this is Searching4RinoaCast, the Searching4Rinoa podcast. That was excrement.
Yes!
Speaking of excrement, how the hell does limited run games push this of all LJN games? I know it's not a long list, but there are better LJN games than this, believe it or not. Yeah, let me run through some of the Summer Game Fest first and foremost here. Not all of it, just what I enjoyed. Kudos for the original Shantae. Funny enough, the day before I got frustrated with this game that I'm trying to platinum still, I start up Risky's Revenge, which is the second in the series. I like that so far. Lot of spook shooters at the beginning of this. Street Fighter 6, Guile in a denim flight suit and sick goatee. He has eyebrows. He's finally free to be. He went home and became a family man, got his eyebrows back. Showing a lot more of how the actual game is gonna play. Is it still Travis Willingham voicing him? No, Riches. Ryu still Kale Bear. I checked the website, that's how I found out about all the changes. I do remember seeing on Twitter Chun-Li got a new VA, Jenny Kwan. But yeah, Guile's throwing like 20 sonic booms like he was on Vism at some point. I hear Mick Gordon, Doom and Killer Instinct, and I'm back. I see Space and I'm out. Then we got The Rock pushing this Zoa drink, and was/is in Fortnite. Black Adam movie trailer in here. American Arcadia's looking a little different. Could be like the Truman Show in a video game, kinda. Being all sneaky and trying to survive in this like actual reality TV game show or whatever. Trailer for Goat Simulator 3. Did that rip off one of the Dead Island games? That trailer? Because it's just a trailer of a guy wearing headphones and not knowing what's going on around him for like a zombie game or something like that. I swore I saw that for something like that. New Marvel stuff, I'm wary of what Midnight whatever is going to be. They found a way to make a Marvel space shooter, they would have shown it here. Cuphead's Delicious Last Course drops the 30th. The Hoyoverse expands. The people behind Genshin Impact making a new game called Star Rail. I think I'm about to be part of the problem once I decide to Genshin. Stay back, I'm good again. Got that Casey Jones thing in Shredder's Revenge 6-player. Haven't seen KZX stream that game. He's unlockable when you boot the game for the first time. Looks fantastic to play. I think KZX in so many words described that as bubble wrap the beat 'em up. And somebody else in that call doing the multiplayer was pretty much agreed with that sentiment. 10 out of 10 on his 2022 media thread. But I'll be looking forward to that once it goes on sale. There was another beat 'em up that came out for also $24.99, but yeah, it's just gonna get swallowed by Shredder's Revenge, and it being 10% off on PSN until the 30th. So you got time for that if you want to grab it for like 22. I think it's like 22.39 or 23 something. More Summer Game Fest stuff. One Piece Odyssey coming out this year. Soul Hackers 2 with dub on August 26th. More Caspo collecting for a second Capcom Arcade Collection. July 22nd. List for that also leaked. Man, you can catch a break. Mario Soccer. Here are not great things about that one already. Speaking of not great things, Naughty Dogs has its Skyrim. It's going to push that Last of Us on everything. Next gen, it might as well be a 2-game on disc collection, if it ain't already a thing already. I took a shower, not knowing right after that was going to be this indie showcase. Goodbye World looked interesting. I didn't catch most of this, but only Goodbye World. Story of what Japanese indie devs go through. It looks like you're balancing life with test play. As someone who always wanted to make video games, that might intrigue me a little bit to check out. I saw Devolver Digital and Suda51. Got something that looks like my kind of RPG. Devolver Digital's making their own cat quest called Cult of the Lamb, August 11th. I'll have to keep an eye on that one. An FPS with the good old Duke Nukem Bootin' Angerfoot. Card games, but there's also cheating and sword fighting called Card Shark. And finally, the Plucky Squire doing Zelda stuff as the world you play on is like you start off in a storybook. There was like some weird punch out mechanic for one boss fight, and then you leave and just go wherever, like over the world. Like there's that one video, I think it's like Super Mario 3 but in real life. They made a game based off that. Holy shit. I think it's a hat loving gamer video too. Somebody put all that together. So yeah. Now I need a PS5 to play that. It's that and the Neptunia remake right now called Reverse. To be fair, that looked insane even on PS4. Oh, Skate Story's a thing, I guess. Yeah, this whole thing was like 80s movies reference abound, and it's so unhinged I only caught maybe half of the... Yeah, we're gonna dump all these game trailers in our S-tier YouTube comedy skit videos. They have this real crazily sinner in a crazily crazy world. You're either on that bus or you'll catch the next one, but it's clear they're the ones driving. So your mileage may vary on that, like, energy kind of going all over the place or not. Fast forward to more games that look good that I can remember. There was one with cute animals, and they're all packed with guns. I couldn't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I forgot to copy down a name. Varvarian, a 3D action beat-em-up. Looked like if Dynasty Warriors games took on a more fleshed out like DMC combat style, although last year it showed it might have been like a fighting game. Maybe that's just PvP. Either way, Varvarian looks really good. And right back to Capcom, we got some story background for Exoprimal. A computer AI program brings in humans to just EDF, but with budget and dinosaurs. I imagine you battle the AI as the final mission. And now we get to the Blade and Gorge Fest. Resident Evil fans getting their first nosh. Village, Shadows of Rose, Mercenaries. October 28th. And something called Reverse, whatever that is. Isn't that one of the bosses from KOF 15? Yeah. March 24th of next year, Resident Evil 4 gets hit with that remake stick. Updated re-releases of 7, 2, and 3 for more current consoles. Speaking of the number 7, Final Fantasy 7, that is. Happy 25th. Square's going both barrels with every shotgun shill it has. Remake and integrate on Steam. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis for iOS and Android. Looks like it combines stuff from 7 and Crisis Core. Did I mention that's getting a remake? Because that looks too good and hyped to be stuck on a handheld, so yeah. Crisis Core Reunion. And then finally, maybe part 2 of the 7 remake and Rebirth, or not, because the presentation still had one FF7 logo not fully revealed yet, just a silhouette. When Capcom did their thing, they're like, we're going to talk about Dragon's Dogma 2-3 days from now. Yeah, they put it like a Thursday. I'm like, oh, what could this be? Dragon's Dogma 2 is a thing. Did not know about the anime and was told it wasn't great. I have only touched the first game and got swarmed by goblins at night. And this was pre-Dark Arisen, so we get the Dungan. So I don't know how that made the game better. But, whew. Yeah, all that covers far off. Let's react to immediate future in our first segment. Coming soon! Coming soon! Coming soon! Coming soon! Coming soon! 10 years ago, they attacked. By they, I mean the fire? Now they're back. Oh, fire monsters. This was apparently something on PC that is soon to come out called Fire Girl Hack and Splash Rescue DX. So, deluxe version of a PC game. Can you save the city? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on this one, but again, it's just something that looks interesting enough. if I wasn't on vacation last week, I could have shown, like, the Ninja Turtles game. That looks really good. And there was another beat 'em up that came out at the same time that just got swallowed up by the Ninja Turtles game that came out. Oh, you pet the puppy. Back to work. See, with the platforming and the... I don't see what you're called. Like, how much water do you have? Does it recharge, or do you have to collect more? Yeah, it comes out just a few short days. Well, all these come out a few short days. This one the day after. Wouldn't have even gone for this if it wasn't for, like, all the extra added stuff, like all these animated cutscenes here. Let's spoon, kids. For fully remastered titles, I still get to play Suda. I think I grabbed it super on sale on, like, PlayStation, and I just never, like... I was gonna do, like, a whole Sonic thing, and I never got around to it. I was like, oh, I'm already getting my ass kicked by 2 and 3 and all that such. Unlike Sonic on a knuckle, I'd rather flex my knuckles. But yeah, still, Sonic 2 is still a favorite of mine. What does the anniversary mode entail? I wonder if that's like cutscenes for the games themselves. Like yeah, put more story in, why not? But yeah, that's coming out the 23rd, as you can see. It'll be like collections, because I got 2 more for the 24th. Yeah, I can't believe this is coming out soon. I think next month is the second arcade collection. Yeah, I got the dates somewhere. I haven't done all the... That's how you know I do this first and then the podcast. You like Darkstalkers? You're getting all of them. Yeah, the Japan only usually, the Vampire Hunter and Saber too. All the bosses. This was seen on the arcade collection Cyberbot, so it's second shot at this. First time in the States ever, Warzord, or Red Earth. You know, only some of these characters with that Capcom Fighting Evolution. Which I got confused with this. This is Capcom Fighting Collection. Well, we're not done with Street Fighter 2 just yet. This is the one that's like all the different versions. And then we get Chibified. This game's one of my favorites. It ain't fighting, but it is in here too. Super Puzzle Fighter 2. Oh, I think that's on the Hyper Fighting. That's the, I remember that from the cover of the PlayStation 2. It was Hyper Fighting 2 and then Third Strike. EX settings. What does that entail? Because those characters aren't exactly hidden. Training mode? That's sometimes. Or fighting what you call it needs. Save mid-game so you can get your Kumas. Is there a rewind? Roll back. For Gem Fighter. How do you pick a game? Is it just one game, or is it overall they just pick or whatever? I wonder how that works. Yeah. The last Street Fighter collection, only a certain number of games were like available online. This one's gone for all. See how it goes. And then the wait is over for this one. From the people who brought you the Ninja Warriors once again. They're back at it with Pocky and Rocky reshrined. Ooh, big explosions. I actually beat the SNES game. I don't know how great I'd be at this, though. But yeah, definitely something on my get list once it's on sale. Got some new characters. I wish it's got the spread and the side thing. Okay. Maybe she's who I go for. I don't know. Look how much bullets she's throwing out. Well, this one's got lightning and spread too. Maybe they're all like that. Because I don't know if the game's still, the whatchamacallit, there's like 2 bullet power-ups to get. One is red, which fire does more damage. Blue's the, split. Gives you more bullets to throw out. And then you got a melee to knock bullets back and everything else. And a bomb. Charge attack move? Who knows? Could add some things here. Now, I wonder if they've, like, added levels, because some of this looks different. I think that's the Spooky Castle, which is, like, the next to the last level. Don't get squeezed. Yep. And that's coming out the 24th. But yeah, that's all our dates. Now we bring it back to Rinoa in the studio. Since Coming Soon started as a Searching for RinoaCast staple, let's bring another one back in what I can only describe as the season finale of Tales of Roleplay. It's been a long time. You want the full story? Check out episode 9 of Tales of Roleplay. All the same, a quick recap for the first campaign I'm doing, Phylon. If you've been keeping up, we got to some inner city gang fights with the Black Turnips gang and the Hatchets, the latter of which kidnapped a brother of our latest employer for our special brand of justice. We got him and his friends out of whatever jail or prison they were being held in, took down a fellow monk class, one leader of the Hatchets gambling house in Sado. Our artificer in said house met and made an enemy with an elf royal type that wanted some fancy artifact, being all rich white elf supremacist about this artifact being in filthy human hands. Tales old as first edition, I'd wager. I'll take Tolkien. We freed some people. One got eaten by what can only be described as this city's boogeyman and a massive creature of massive teeth, known only to us as the Gullet. We chased that off, but not before it spat around our paladin's fancy trinket or badge or something. Racing back to our hotel, a few more non-combatants died, including one very important one from a noble house that we had to get rid of before we, too, became criminals. Even as the strongest of us refers to our group as the Time Lords. After all that, one of the turnips offers us a white one of peace. What does that mean exactly? Well, not only is it a peace offering, but a summons to meet with their leader at a public place like a park or fountain type place. So we ditch the body, leader in question, we meet more spooky, scary stuff. Old woman who looks kinda humanish but heavily cloaked. Like we saw a pigeon go in her general area and only feathers come out. This old woman heard of us after battling one of her children, the gullet. She mentions his name is Mortimer. Apologizes for his actions. Such a big eater. Ate a whole wagon full of people once. Well, they were teasing and pointing first. Don't poke the bear, especially when it has that giant row of teeth. The old woman wants us to go under the city with Mortimer's help. Yeah, Mortimer's going to be a temporary party member to help us retrieve a powerful item/artifact being guarded in a dwarven underground city. Phylon not too keen on doing things for clearly more aberrations that can't have any good intentions with this artifact whatsoever. Especially considering all the shit that went down with Zazim and freaky mollusk/mind flayer people. I don't even know what hired us exactly, but not happy about it, but I'm with the strongest people I know, so we're off to fight some dwarves at the front gate of a long bridge. Only 2 of them, though. After we deal with them, it's soon made clear we're not the only ones down here for that artifact. I think as we go, actually before that, we found out Mortimer is actually terrified of bats, so we got to deal with a horde of them. Just the monk summon alone, the 2D whatever force damage by summoning the arms is enough to drop a whole swarm. Mortimer, head down, all shrieking. Then we get rid of the bats. Oh, it's in my hair, it's in my hair. Or what constitutes that massive having here. It's just this kind of like Swamp Thing meets Treant looking kind of action figure for that thing. So we deal with the bats, then the dwarves. We venture further in and down a flight of stairs, Monk doing the wall run thing. Getting in a flanking position to shut at what turns out to be the same archers that slew the old man and fancy house lord back in episode 9, so now we really gotta get this artifact for ourselves. So, touch of revenge, dispatch them quite handedly, so we're all raring to go, fully rested and barrel-chested for the final part of this trip to the bottom. That fancy elf the Artificer made an enemy of has gathered up some fellow elves and a whole slew of dwarven slaves to open this door down at the bottom. So we fight them, the dwarves, and meanwhile they get the gate open where the artifact is said to be. But it's also guarded by this white flesh golem or something of that size/nature. Very big figure. I keep saying action figures. Very big, again, I'm not sure if it was like I think in flesh golem, but it could have been just like something hold together, but it's all like really pasty white for some reason. I'm a little fuzzy on things. This was months ago that I'm trying to recall. We have a bit harder time having to fight both the elves, led by the main one who's also quite adept at magic, and the Guardian itself. So we got a last tough boss fight was finished with artifact procuring either through breaking or obtaining. Time sorted up fighter gets to the thing itself. Rest of us managed to drop the elves and creature. We take the artifact and cliffhanger. Yes, the last thing, the party's time before we switched over to the circus setting. Which, considering how quickly I wrap this up, I can, ladies and gentlemen, Denduck and friends. This has also been a while, so if you want the full story for this, check out episode 10 of Tales of Roleplay. And yes, this will be up separately on its own, for episode 11. Let's do a quick recap here. Dendock, gladiatorial swashbuckling goblin, gets to expand his horizons as part of a traveling circus. But before our first big performance, we find our ringmaster lying motionless and chewed up by possibly rats and venomous snakes. But the show must go on, as the ringmaster's wife tells us. We deal with some of the rattier aspects of the crowd while we put on a show and earn our living. After the show, we deal with vipers to myriads to fairies and finally a rat shaman. We stop any more casualties to our fellow circus folk, and now we're caught up to the present. After our dispatching of said rat shaman, her ROUS, and a swarm, we finally are able to either bury or give up said ringmaster's body to the proper authorities, that of the mayor of this town we're in, called Alberton, which is where we set up camp. And with the sheriff missing, the active deputy, I guess, is on orders of the mayor, seeing, well, you guys kicked ass. This party knows how to handle itself. Deputize the whole party. And sets us on side quests throughout the city, 4 in all, and with time we might only have enough for 2 of them. Well, we've done 2 so far. The first one was this old water mill. Someone said they heard something fishy going down. The people who run that mill have not been seen or heard from in quite a while, so we investigate, come across the place, looking really disheveled and maybe ransacked. Big place, too. Side garden didn't yield anything before we can head to the second floor for more investigations. We come across this giant wasp hive. If only one of us was an orchid man. Is orchid still around, or am I showing my age again with that comment? All of us taking our first licks on these wasps. Friggin' medieval means to fight another situation of one unusual size, one swarm. Something we could probably set fire to, all things considered, but we are looking for survivors, so we can't just cut and run. We beat them down, slay them, we continue our search, we find a dresser falling down in much more mayhem. Something clearly going on here. We strength up and pull the dresser upright. Inside is kind of like those monsters that were in the water getting stones, the myriads, but this one's a smaller, weaselly looking thing. Instead of spitting water, it spits sand. And there's a pile of sand in the dresser as it spills out. I think it's made its like home or nest in that thing, and it was just kind of fight it for a little while. This one just takes off towards some other area. Last thing we see before we leave, there's all these childlike drawings on the walls of this place. All of them creatures, some we recognize through stories, some we've already fought. So yeah, more weirdness going down here. Again, the whole thing of, I think nature is pissed and it's just trying to fight against the modernization of the world. And Mother Nature's taking her revenge. We think whoever human was here, possibly a Monpa and a child of some sort with the drawings, they were dragged off not of their choosing. No humans here now, so nothing more to investigate. So let's run over to side quest 2. Rumblings going on in a church/cemetery area. Always scary. We perimeter search. We see 2 masked individuals with shovels working the gravesite. They're like, oh, don't get too close. There's a plague. Boring, says the barbarian named Mouse, who's all about doing rather than talking. Dendok falls into this category as well. So, Mouse, Dendok, and our new player, who is a wizard all of her own, go off to look inside the church. Front door is open in a way you would not be able to close all the way properly. Going through the rows, being all sneaky. Dendok on one side, Mouse on the other. Atop the main church portion, or raised platform dais, 1 small creature and 1 larger biped. They look sylvan in nature, trees and such, so I'm gonna cut around. Attack the small one is Dendok. Mouse runs full on fighting the big guy. Now, rest of the party would have followed suit had I not learned later on, I left to use the bathroom and came back, our detective, Clownumbo, once again, as you'd expect, I forget if I mentioned that or not, it's been so long, apparently didn't get the answers from the 2 masked grave diggers he was looking for, and punches one in the face. But apparently he was onto something, because these things were, the mask comes off and then it's like a millipede worm or something like sticking out of these guys' mouths. They weren't warning them of the plague. I think these are the plague. These are like little worm millipedes like controlling these humans. So all our magic and lesser hitters dealing with 2 worm people. Man, by the grace of RN Jesus, oh my god, what are the odds of rolling back-to-back nat 20s? And then my next turn was like 14 and then a third natural 20. Oh my god. I forget if I mentioned this. You have 3 actions per round. Usually it's like move to get in close and then you can like an attack. Any other attacks after the one you make, you get like a -5 and then a -10 to your roll. Some spells or bigger techniques take like 2 or 3 of those actions. All Dinduck needs to do is stab things with his rapier, which I think for certain weapons of this variety, it also added something called a deadly D8. So, when I get these nat 20s, which is critical damage, not only am I doing double damage, plus whatever modifiers, which in this case is a D6, so I now 2d6 on a crit hit, and then a flat D8, no damage modifier, to do even more damage. So level 2, Tiny Swashbuckler doing 20 plus HP of damage. Put the little guy on his last legs, drop him. Then I find out exactly what type of wizard we're dealing with our newest player. I mean, she did negative damage, and heal spells actually harm her, so it's something dark, but no, straight up necromancer. Usually when Dinduck kills things, they stay dead. But hey, now we got Dinduck, Mouse, and the little guy that I killed, the little monster, working under the necromancer's control to numbers game the big guy. I believe she mentioned it was a shambling zombie type of creature. It can attack and try to pin down and then bite/eat. Basic zombie. You play your Resident Evils, it knocks you over, starts biting at your neck or whatever. But yeah, we're all in this area, so it was like right on top. So I didn't have that far to go, or shamble, really. It's just literally just like turned around and started gnawing at the big guy. Big guy starts freaking out, trying to bat it away and not even touch us anymore. So we were able to go in and finish that off. I think it's a spell called Reanimate Dead, which is a 2nd level necromancy spell. Just make a skeleton or a zombie. Anyway, big and drops. Necromancy that one up too, and rejoin the rest of our party. We'd have to run like even with full move action, which is like 75 feet for us. It's because most people get like 25 speed. You can move, but with 3 actions, you can move. Do like a full 75, and that's like your whole turn. So we try to rejoin these worm monsters, these body snatcher worms. One of which just peels away and I think explodes the body or just discards it, and just pops out all worm-like. And the Dungeon Master described it as the bug from Men in Black 1 just bursting from its Edgar prison. The act alone is a saving throw or be frightened 1, which is a -1 to AC for a turn until you shake that off. It's just shit, that shouldn't have happened. Really far from us and our new zombie friends to run over there in the one turn. One of us who's made a character, but real-life situations make it hard to personally play, gets the DM to run that character and just spam healing spells, which was sorely needed. 2 party members on that side went down to 0, which is dying 1, unless either stabilized or saving throw, I think? Unless stabilized, you get out of dying, I believe. But by next turn, the larger zombie makes it to 1, and just engulfs one of the worm things. Other worm about to attack when thunk. Guess who shows up? The Time Lords. 2 parties, 1 campaign. See, that's a cliffhanger worthy to be the season finale of Tales of Roleplay. I can't do my usual platinum hunting since one game has no platinum, the other I didn't get yet. I'm just going to turn this to a what am I playing? Super nice of Lily Mo Games with the quote, "You worked hard for this money. You deserved it. Thanks for buying our game. Enjoy." Tricky platinum to get, but a simple bunch of trophies you can probably get. 4 to 6 hour long. Again, if you're lucky with the one thing in Habroxia 2. They really expanded this game with branching paths and different bosses to fight on levels a la Star Fox. 12 levels, each with an astronaut and a bubble to save. Take care not to shoot them accidentally. And 12 certain enemies that are bounty kills. You shoot them down and get money that way. Save up on 1,000 credits before you go spend crazy. That's a trophy. Nothing is super duper missable. You can redo levels to open up the other branching paths or get any of the astronauts you might have accidentally killed or bounties you might have missed. What's kept some away and what's keeping me from the platinum right now is a boost trophy. There's this area with no enemies or power-ups. You speed through boosted. Crash and start over again. Yeah, one of those like Battletoads kind of things. It's not that hard, but there's like about halfway through, there's a lot of like thread the needle kind of situations. I haven't been able to get that platinum yet. That's the only trophy I'm missing. Another one I did 100%, but it doesn't have a platinum either, is a really cheap Dr. Mario clone called Water Balloon Mania. It's even cheaper right now. 4 trophies. Play until you reach level 10 on beginner and level 20 on expert. Took me about 40 minutes. If you're good at Dr. Mario, this will be cake. I also didn't expect the PSN tiers to happen. I was away from vacation. I come back, I get Wild Arms 1 for free. I'm like, did I really pull this off? Did they really send it for free for us, or just give it to us for well, it's essential now. That's where I'm at now, tier 1. It goes essential, extra, and premium, I believe it's called. She needs premium, dude. But yeah, that's old games with trophy support. Did a little bit of that on Saturday. Sunday was all about that campaign, so no changes to current level or plats. Maybe next week. Let's talk about snacking for Rinoa real quick. Cinnamon Toast Crunch popcorn. Great stuff. Doesn't cut your gums if you eat it too fast like the actual box cereal. Yeah, you gotta be cautious. This was really good. Not too overpowering or anything like that. Like that Captain Crunch was kind of that was like the smart food one. Another Mike's Hard, the strawberry. This was good too. Again, I've yet to try the actual lemonade still. I'm a bit wary of that, to be honest. Lemonade straight is a little harder to mesh things with, especially with something like booze. But so far, I think I found my beer of choice. I'm really curious about the Hard Dew or whatever that's called. I'd have to look into that. What kind of booze they use that for? That could be stronger than I think it is. Since that was extensive, I think I'll give the Street Fighter 6 roster leak talk another week, because I can talk about the other roster for the I can talk about the other leak for the upcoming Capcom Arcade Collection 2, Capcom Arcade Stadium 2. That's what it's called. Yeah, sorry, Capcom Collection, Capcom Fighting Evolution. I know I'm gonna get confused. It's like 6 a.m. I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible. And I get this, piece it all together, and then take a nap or something. My sleep schedule is... You take one vacation, sleep schedule is proper fucked. So yeah. That will do for the podcast. Again, I'm not sure when next... It's going to be a while before we do, the Tales of Roleplay, so I figured that'd be a good season finale to end on. Just... Now, other people are going to be vacationing in July, so it's going to give me a lot more free time to do things. No, but seriously, Jaws for LJN. Nightmare on Elm Street LJN. The Punisher LJN. That's the creme de la creme as far as I'm concerned. I found that out recently. Maybe I can do some of that. It's a YouTube video. I think it's called the LJN Defender. Let me look that up real quick. Yep, literally that channel, LJN Defender. The Zelda CDI games are innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, so just... Home to innocent until proven guilty. Okay, yeah, so it's just 2 years ago? Oh, so he hasn't made anything currently, but... I don't know, I haven't seen the videos myself. Maybe it was something good, maybe something bad, but it's like... He's developing LJN games. Like I said, there are some good ones out there, so it can't be all bad. But that's the podcast. Play me out, Dave.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.